that we cannot film any analysis that might be how
when we go on the flight deck, we'll be able to do it from the back on the red ribbon. You can just not do it. You can do it from up here. Just don't take videos from up here. That's fine. So this is what we call FLYCO. So flying control. Up here is where we control all of the flying. So the other bridge that we'll go to in a moment is where the ship is controlled from, with all their navigation, their steering, all the engines and things. And from up here, this is all flying that goes on here. So you can see just on that board, on the you can see on that board with the ship on, we just use magnets to move the jets around the deck. So you'll have somebody up here who's controlling all that, and obviously you can see with the very good view, he'll be able to see everything that is happening on the deck and be able to control it from up here. You also have an air traffic control position as well, so just at the back here you have an air traffic controller sitting, so that when we're coming back towards the ship, they can let us know about all the other traffic, where the helicopters are, where the other jets are, and they can speak directly to the other people that control the jets in this room. And then we have our paddles as well, so if you ever see Top Gun with the American guys and the people that wear the white jackets and control the jets that come and land on the deck, we'll have these guys in here as well. So they're basically a safety pilot that come in here, and they just have overall control of the safety of the jets. So if you ever get in trouble or if you have an emergency, you'll speak to the pilot who sits up here, and they'll be able to guide you down back to land, and they'll be able to help you out as well. When we come into the hover, we will usually come ahead. We will usually fly over the top of FLYCO, and we have plus or minus 15 seconds that we need to hit that we need to hit above FLYCO. Else the pattern, the jets start getting all jumbled up. So we try and be really, we try and be as perfect as we can with our timing as possible. So plus or minus 15 seconds is kind of our tolerance for flying over the ship. We'll then fly 2 miles downwind. We will brake over the ship, so we'll turn and go abeam the ship, and then we will turn back behind the ship, and we will come into the hover alongside the ship here. So we've got 5 different spots that we can land on. So if you see the numbers outside, you've got 3 there next to that helicopter, 4 at the back, and 5 at the furthest back. We've also got 2 deck at the front, 2 spot at the front. Those are the different spots that we can land on. So we will come into the hover, and for us, when we're flying in the F-35, we're trying to get our eyes at the same height as the roof of this tower. So we come alongside, we make sure that our eyes are in line with this tower for our height, and then we will get out. We call this a bum line. Whichever spot we've been told to land on, we will get alongside the spot, and then we will come across the ship, and then we'll try and land on those double tram lines there as well. So it's a nice view up here. This is where all the flying control happens, and then we've got this ship control at the front. All of this is just safety. So like I said, we try and keep everybody who's doing the control of the flying together. So we've got all the deck movements at the front. We've got the air traffic controller at the back, and then the safety pilot as well. So if anything goes wrong, they can all speak with each other and try and fix problems really as quickly as possible. Anybody got any questions of the from up there?
In the use Navy's aircraft carriers, the person who is charged to command the aircraft control called air boss.
The air
So
boss.
What is called in Royal Navy?
We call him Wings.
Wings.
So yeah, Wings will sit up here on this nice chair, so that's his chair, nobody else sits in that. And so he's the air boss, so he's in control of overall safety, and he will sit here and just watch everything going on and make sure, yeah, so he's the air boss essentially. Yeah. Any more questions from up here?
写真は撮って大丈夫ですね、ここに関しては。一般の皆さんも写真撮って大丈夫です。
Yeah, sure.
It's safe, the jet's safe, so nothing's on.
Sweet. Yeah, once we've had a couple of moments, you want to leave them down onto the flight deck downstairs. You want to leave them down to the flight deck downstairs. Are you happy? No, that's good. Right down. To the hover just here. And you don't need to be in the weather. Helicopters and for the jets, we need a good wind over the deck. We need forward wind flow over the deck for our hover restrictions. So they'll be checking that all the time as well and telling they've got a radio with the bridge at the front, and they tell them whether they need to change course to make the winds good for the flight deck downstairs. Are you happy? No, that's good. Right done.
Usually, how many people
It gives us the relative wind that's really important for helicopters.
Yeah,
and
everything's
for the
digitalised now.
So you'll see on that computer readout as well there, it gives us the relative wind that's really important for helicopters and for the jets. We need a good wind over the deck, forward the flow of the deck for our hover for flying.
The ship will usually just stay in one box and the priority is the air control.
Yeah, if we're flying, the ship will usually just stay in one box, and then the priority is the air control. If we need to get somewhere, then we don't fly as much, and the people at the front of the bridge have all the priority.
We'll go down into the
You might just make your way just back down the stairs, please. You might just to make your way just back down the stairs, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and in the US they don't have the two separate reviews, so they'll be most of the paddles in the US because we and in the US they don't have the two separate bridges, so they'll be sat there. Most of the paddles in the US carriers they sit on the floor, whereas because we come into the hover just here, and we don't need to be in the weather. Sit here and sit. Yeah, so. That's it, yeah.
You feel like an airport.
Yeah, you're right. That's it, yeah.
Just do the signal planning. You should launch signal planning into a wave off into the studio. So you're nice in the house.
1, 2, 1.
So we're
Back up.
get the aircraft up and down.
Yeah. Okay, ship wasted on DC, we are in show roll delay 3. Departure.
Red deck fix here.
So this is the flight deck, so we've got all the jets up front there, and then if they need to be worked on, like I said earlier, they can get put on the lift at the front and the back and go down in the hangar to be worked on by the engineers. The helicopters, we try and put them out of the way over in the back right corner there. That's where they kind of like to land, and the jets we like to land on this side of the ship. So we'll come into the hover alongside there in line with FLYCO, and then we'll come across and land on this side of the ship, try and keep the helicopters out of the way. We've got, for taking off for us, we've got numbers on the runway essentially, and that is how many feet we are from the ramp. So the guys in FLYCO as well, depending on the conditions of the day, the humidity, the pressure and the temperature, they'll calculate, and based on our weight, how far we need to go back to be able to take off the ramp, and then we'll taxi around, we'll go to the position that we need to, we'll convert into STOVL mode, into the hover mode with all the doors opening, and then once we've done our engine checks, we'll go and take off the ramp, and from that point it's pretty easy, we don't need to do much as long as we're lined up properly. We'll just put the power to full, and then we'll just go and the jet will just take us off. It knows that when we hit the ramp, there's a sensor in the jet that detects it, and it will take off. Basically, it will take off automatically for us. So it's not really that much to do once you've done that, and then we can convert out into normal flying mode, and we're off and go and do whatever we've got to do that day. When we're at sea, you've usually got 20 knots of wind over here. You've got helicopters going. You've usually got different jets started up because we like to try and take off, but we try and get 8 jets airborne as quickly as we can. So for me, first coming up here, the first time that I was started to fly from up here, it's really noisy. The wind, engines, it's hot. It's a pretty hostile environment. You get used to it pretty quickly. But this is a nice day and it's nice and quiet up here. But when we are at sea and it's operating, it's very different, and you can get very disorientated on here. And it's cool. It's a really cool environment to be in. That not many people can say that they've done before. So like I said, we've got the Merlins up here, so the same as in the hangar, we've got the big huge helicopters that we do anti-submarine stuff with, and then the Wildcat, we've only got that one on board, which is downstairs, that small one, and then all the jets lined up looking nice for our visit here for you guys to take pictures of. We usually work in 4s, so we'll try and we've got 2 squadrons, so we try and take 8 jets off as quickly as we can, and then when we come to land, that's why it's really important when I said we've got 15 seconds window to hit for when we come back, so we've got to get 8 jets back on board, and if we don't have enough fuel, fuel is always a problem for us, so we need to get them back on as quickly as possible. We just walk over this side, we'll go just closer to the side so we can see how high we are basically. It'll be nice like this. We won't take off vertically, we'll land vertically, but when we take off we've got too much weight to do that, so it's more efficient for us to go off the ramp.
So it's about 4 acres in size, and we have 6 helicopter spots.
面積は4エーカー分、ざっと4エーカー、それからヘリのスポットとしては6カ所確保しています。
And we're about 208 meters long.
全長208メートル。
So we'll walk round and I will show you where we launch the helicopters and the F-35s from. 208.
はい、208メートルで合ってます。で、ヘリコプター、それから F35 のローンチですね、発進、をしている場所をご覧に入れます。ということで、
So HMS Prince of Wales is capable of operating all the aircraft that the British operate. Helicopter-wise, we've got the Merlin aircraft and we've got the Merlin Mark IIs, which are the ones at the back, and we also have the Commando Merlins, which we use for troop carrying.
プリンス・オブ・ウェールズの能力といたしましては、ありとあらゆる種類の航空機を取り扱うことができる。イギリス軍が持っているものは全て扱えるとなっております。ヘリコプターに関しましては、マーリンとマーリンマーク2、マーク2は後ろに控えています。それからコマンドもヘリコプターとして使っていますけれども、これは、兵員の部隊の輸送に使っています。
We also operate a Wildcat aircraft, which is a maritime attack. It's the smaller one. There isn't one up here. And we are capable of operating everything up to the size of the V-22 Osprey that the Americans operate, and we will operate with those.
で、ワイルドキャット、ヘリコプターも使っております。これは海上攻撃用のヘリコプターでありまして、サイズとしては小さめとなっていますけれども、今ちょっと甲板には完載されておりません。それからまた B-22 オスプレイ、米軍が使っているヘリコプターに関しましても、オペレーション上対応できるようになっています。
And then our main weapon on the ship is the F-35 fighter aircraft. We operate the Bravo version, which is the short takeoff and landing. I'll show you where we usually launch them from, it's very close to the end.
350とここ下に書かれているのは、船の先端から350フィートという意味です。で、ここから F35 は通常ローンチします、発進します。
We give all the checks. Once we get a green light, we will launch it off
From here to the
top of the ramp.
What is the length?
350 feet.
Okay, yeah. だからこの350フィートだけを使って、離陸をするということですので、F35 は一旦ここで止まってチェックを受けて、で青信号が出たらここから350フィート使って発進をする、離陸をする、離艦をするということです。
So a fully swept up team on the flight deck. We will be able to launch 4 F-35s in 3 minutes.
はい、で、フルに乗組員が任務に当たっていて、全員揃っていればですね、任務に必要なものが全員揃っていれば、F35 を4機、3分で これが唯一のそういう店舗だそうです。
こちら館内の福利厚生施設だということです。
1600円。あ、意外と安い。
安いですよ。
本来は12.5ユーロが8ユーロ。
あ、やっぱりこれ軍隊価格、軍の優遇価格じゃないですか。確かに本当は乗組員の方のための福利厚生なのに。
アルコールも売られています。
Please. We're just finding out at the moment, guys. Girls.
Hard to cut.
Oh, yes. Hard to cut.
Have you been on a Type 23 yet? I think this will still be Australian stock. Yeah. It's been cooked better before.
Yeah. So you have the same. Yeah, similar stuff. So we have many methods of communication. Secure needed.
You guys get some.
Yeah, that's just comments.
Yes, guys. So this is the bridge. So, like when we was in FLYCO, that was the control of the flying. This is where the control of the ship is. So you'll see the screen when we came in. They've got their navigation stuff on there. So just like your sat nav, they've got a version of that on that computer screen. They also have paper charts usually as well. So as a backup, they'll have paper charts, and then they're able to use this Polaris, which basically is like a gyroscope, which tells you the bearing when you look down it from different things. So if the sat nav breaks down, then they can take bearings of different things here to triangulate them to basically find out where the position is, and then they can plot that on their moving map. And knowing the tides and stuff, they'll be able to plot the position that we are now and where we're going to be in 6 minute times is what they usually 6 minutes time is what they usually like to do. So up here, this is the first time I've actually been up here, so I think this is the captain's chair. It looks very captain-y. Oh, that one over there. So you'll have him sitting on one of those, and then you'll have them sitting on one of those. You'll have the officer, the watch, who's they will be controlling the ship. The captain will be overseeing it for safety. The officer of the watch will be taking care of the navigation and the shipping. They will be telling whoever's driving the ship what to do with the engines and what course to steer with the rudder. And then, yeah, that's basically it. You'll have the captain doing the safety, the officer of the watch driving the ship, but they'll be able to walk around and see everything. and then I'll be telling the person who's on the engines what to do, basically. So you've got the throttles here. So you've got two engines. We've got two propellers at the back. So you've got both throttles there, and then you've got a steering wheel here, which actually looks like a little airline plane. So you've got the steering here for the rudder, and so this is where all the ship navigation is controlled from. Has anybody got any questions for the bridge? We'll have a few moments up here, and then we will make our way back down. Once we've finished in the bridge, we're going to go back down to basically where we got off. So we'll go back down to the hangar, and then we'll go off the gangway that we came back on. So. I think this is the captain's chair. It looks very captain-y. Pull that one over there, so you'll have him sitting on one of those, and then you'll have them sitting on one of those. You'll have the officer of the watch, who's a little airline plane. You've got the steering here for the rudder, so this is where all the ship navigation is controlled from. Anybody got any questions from the?
普通の船っぽくなっちゃってなんか整備してる不思議な絵だね不思議な絵どう上げてもダメだしょうがないはいあーどうしよう手でまではいせないと
Bridge is quite summertime for them, so all the major points of the
特徴ではあるよ。まあサンドピュート途中ロングはつってないこういうパーマです。
Queues for coming to visit the ship. It's really good to see how popular it is. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on board. It's good to be able to show you around.